First of all, my apology. We took time and we are starting a bit late, but thank you so much for taking out time for this special conference. Focus on how retailers are adapting to serve new age consumer and drive profit, organized by 6DX and AWS in association with ET Retail. This topic is really interesting given the fact that during the pandemic, we all went through uh, a different level of challenges altogether, and that was pervasive across all sector. And what it has done, actually, it has somehow changed the consumer behavior. And today, the consumer has become more technology oriented, and the focus on e-commerce is slightly high. Last month data suggests that there is some pick in our retail store, on the physical store as well. Uh, so what we are actually noticing across the sector that there are a couple of things that are becoming really important in order to be a differentiative and also have a sustainable growth. And those two things are consumer behavior and as to how we are able to serve the consumer, which is customer experience. And they're actually having a greater visibility across different facets of your retail operation, which could be inventory management, the kind of sale that you are making on the POS, how integrated those are, what kind of visibility you have, and as to how you are actually able to delight customer. And that is some of the thing which is long term. Also, there is a lot of focus on high-end personalization, and but that is easier said than done because most of us invested in very silos, world-class architectures, especially the large corporate organization have a different programs to handle different things. But now there is an emerging concept of MASH, which is microservice-based API first, cloud native and headless architecture, wherein you can nothing will be dependent on each other, and it will be completely a plug and play mode. So you can decouple anything from anywhere and should be able to fix and run. I think those are things which are going to help both in the back end as well as in the front end for the retail industry to do the innovation. And today we'll be focusing on those things, and I will be joined by, so once again, thank you so much for taking our time and being part of this conference. And to enlighten us further on this particular topic, and I would like to invite to deliver the keynote address, Mr. Ramanan Venkata, Director, Intellect Commerce, and CEO, India and South Asia, Intellect Design. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mohammed, and good morning, everyone. Pleasure to see all of you in this occasion. Early morning, G20 crowd, roads are blocked, but you took the time to be here. Thank you very much. So Mohammed set the context, right? I mean, what's happening in retail, we all understand. We are all consumers first, right? Before we run retail, first, all of us are consumers, okay? So when I got the opportunity to take over this business, the first thing that I realized is I've always been shopping, be it a grocery shopping or shopping for family clothes for festivals or going and buying electronics. We always do shopping. So what is it that differentiates our experience when we go to an in-store? I mean, pandemic forced us to go online, but there is an experience difference that when we go to some stores that we feel that we want to go back again and again, okay? And that was the genesis of our thinking as to how do we build a product that enhances the experience, store experience, in-store experience of customers who do a walk-in, right? And then I'm sure all of us in this room who are running retail are doing omni-channel, but the first part of my presentation or talk, I want to focus on in-store technology. The biggest experience dampener, if I can call it, or the biggest experience creator is at the time of checkout, right? If you have done the purchase, you have, I'm taking the liberty of sharing when I go with my partner to do shopping, it could take 2 hours to pick up a cloth. But when you come to the checkout counter, it has to be immediate, seamless, fast. I mean, you don't want to wait for long for them to run the promotions in the back end and then say that this is the offer that I have for you for this product. So the fast checkout became an extremely important aspect of any in-store experience that the customer was looking. So we said, okay, that is something that all of us are looking at when we are building a POS technology. And technology per se, I'll come later. Then we need to understand the customer, right? I mean, incidentally, during one of the conversation over coffee before the event, I was saying one experience that I had is my salon sent me an offer, hair straightening offer. Okay, it immediately told me that they didn't understand who I was as a customer, right? So promotions have to be delivered with context to be remembered. Who are we offering? What are we offering as a service? So you need to understand who the customer is. So CRM becomes a very essential aspect of your thing. So you need to record the demographic details of the customer, their buying behavior of the customer over a period of time to be collected so that CRM is enriched. So that whatever you do later with the customer, offline or online, you have a database of the customer. Then it is about running the promotions, right? I mean, if, for example, I have a behavior of the customer over a period of time, and incidentally, our 6DX platform has over 70 lakh customer data for various customers. So we are able to run the analytics at the back end, which can actually define what is the customer behavior. Okay, this customer comes and shops in the first week of the month. Okay, this customer, this is the value of purchase that the customer is making every month. This is the kind of brands that the customer is buying. Okay, they are buying Tata Sampan Atta and not something else. How do I then use this information as a marketeer to run my promotions? That can enhance the share of wallet that I'm able to get. So every walk-in customer, if I'm able to increase my share of wallet, I think that's the benefit that all of us can drive. So CRM is important, running the promotion is important, that becomes an important. We are in an online world. We like to receive coupons and vouchers digitally, but there is still a segment of customers who likes to receive coupons in a physical mode, right? So you need to balance both the physical and digital management of coupons and vouchers. So recently, when you go and do shopping for some festival, they give you a coupon which is for future dated, saying that if you do another purchase within the next 3 months, this is the 500 rupee off, or things like that. So those are physical coupons that still have a place and day in this market. So you have to run both digital coupons and physical coupons at the same time, ability to manage them, okay? Then you might want to do tiering of loyalty, right? Over a period of time, do I want to treat all customers similar, or do I want to create subcategories, silver, gold, platinum? Okay, these are choices that brands can take, but you need a technology that can enable you to manage these kind of tiering of loyalty programs. Okay, so again, an aspect of the business that is very important that has to be incorporated. Again, if I were to tell that India would move 82% of today's economy will be digital payments, okay, 4 or 5 years back, all of us would have laughed, right? I mean, it was predominantly a cash-based economy, okay? Today, 82% has moved to digital. And when you look at digital, it is not one form, okay? You have UPI, you have card-based payments, credit and debit. Some use vouchers. You can run your closed wallets, and you can also offer cash, okay? Can a system manage to collect payments using multiple payment vouchers, okay? Not limiting to, you can either do this bill only on cash or only on card, and those other coupons, the food coupons, the soda equivalents, also available in the market. How do I manage everything in a single system, okay? So this became the genesis of looking at how a product is built, and that's how we called it the 6 dimensions of retail, and 6DX was formed. When we started socializing this in the market, and this, incidentally, we have hosted it on AWS Cloud, not just for the Indian market. We are currently operational in 19 countries, including Africa, Middle East, Indonesia, and India. So AWS Cloud became a partner of choice. And when we started socializing this in the market, people said, while cloud is good, it gives me the advantage of go to market. My network is not stable. Do you have a solution for that? Right? So we created an offline capability of continuing your billing even when your networks are down, which is very essential, not just for India, but some parts of the countries that I just mentioned, where your network stability is not there. Okay, you might still not be able to accept digital payments because that also needs connectivity, but you need not stop your billing as long as the customer is willing to do a cash-based transaction. We can't solve the problem on the digital payment side, but at least on the billing side, we thought technology can solve this solution. Mohammed introduced the concept of MAC, which is microservices-based API, cloud, and headless. What it actually means is that for running a retail thing, I mean, I was sitting as part of the first table, okay, you need your warehouse management, you need your inventory management, your procurement and GRN to be handled, you need your financial modules, you need BI tools to run. And at a store level, you have to integrate with this payment gateways, you have to integrate with, say, weighing scales. Various systems are required to be integrated with the billing software. So if your technology partner can bring those open retail, and also one statement I heard, I can't wait for a technology partner to take 6 months to 12 months to deliver solutions. Can it be delivered at the moment I need it? Okay, which is where technology will have to come into play. Open APIs, open retail architecture, as we call it, brings those flexibility of connecting to the ecosystem play so that you can connect and incorporate new, I mean, expecting all technology from the same partner is also not possible. You have to go with a specialist. But if we are able to do the interplay and connect, I think that's what as a technology partner that we bring to the table. Key has to be, when you do this kind of technology integration, it has to be seamless. Okay, you don't want a bad experience of, in some places it is extremely good and some it is patchy. You need a seamless integrated experience so that the customer experience, irrespective of whether they do it online or offline, is relevant. I just thought I will take an example. We work with one of the chains which manages rural artisans work. So rural artisans can offer their products, paintings, and other kind of stuff through stores, physical stores. And then the government of India decided, how do I expand it? And they offered the online retailers or e-commerce platforms like Amazon and Flipkart to also sell wares for them. Okay, so if you go and buy in an e-commerce site, how's the experience of the billing and ensuring the dispatch, knowing that the inventory is already available and not sold out, and this product can be dispatched, is equally important to make sure that the experience, customer experience, is wonderful. So it has to be seamless, and the customer experience becomes the center of the ecosystem that we are talking about. We also speak to customers who start small and then expand over a period of time. Okay, so be it 10 stores, or be it 1,500 stores, or be it 4,000 stores, the experience has to be same. So the scalability of the technology has to be there, and that is where the cloud native architecture and deployment on AWS cloud helps this, that in case the retailer is expanding to newer geographies, taking the technology to the new store is not one headache that they will have to carry. It is very seamless. It's like a plug and play kind of environment that they can download and start. All of us realize analytics, the reporting tools, is very important in day-to-day business. Do I know what's my day-end collection? Offline and online, is there any gap? Is the offline data getting replicated when the connectivity is established so that there is no pilferage that happens? Again, reporting is very, very critical. This critical reports has to be part of the system, and that is getting covered as part of this. Key thing is, while technology is expanding, and enabling all of us as consumers. Technology is also enabling us as retailers to offer the best of services to our customer folks. Okay, and that's something that I thought I will cover as part of this keynote. There are various other newer age technologies that are encompassing. I mean, we keep hearing about AR, VR, metaverse, and things like that. But for all of that, your investment in the point of sale, the in-store, which is a critical element as you expand into newer technologies, is something that I thought I will leave as a message in today's morning session. As part of today's proceedings, we will also have a formal presentation and demo of this coming up after the panel discussion. Thank you very much, and once again, thank you for taking time and being part of this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ramanan. I think you spoke quite well, especially on the importance of fast checkout once you have done all the research and selected the item. Also, personalization on the promotion part is really important. And one very important thing you mentioned that both online or offline is going to be there. We need to have a very better integration of phygital world. And the customer should have, by and large, a similar experience, either on the store and whether they are coming to our online platform. One very important thing also you mentioned that heterogeneity is a reality, whether in your IT architecture, whether you are running a retail store, what technology needs to do that we need to create platforms which is going to minimize the heterogeneity and help basically organization run their core business. And this is what actually cloud enables, wherein you can plug a lot of things together. You can have some of platform type of technology and platform, and then you are able to do a lot of things. So thank you so much. Now I would like to invite Mr. Ram Deshmukh, Enterprise PSM Leader from AWS India, to deliver his keynote address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Intellect team, for inviting us. First of all, the context already Mohammed has said that context, and Ramanan, you also gave a lot of points. Basically, you still all my points, so which I was planning to say. But nevertheless, I think let me begin. If you can put that presentation. So before am I audible? Yeah. So my name is Ram Deshmukh. I am the Enterprise PSM Leader for the AWS in India. PSM, let me put that in a context as a partner success manager. We work with the technology partners and consulting partner like Intellect. And we try to bring the solutions from the partner and the AWS platform together so that we can offer those solutions to our end customers. Now, coming to, can you put the slide, please? It's always like cloud computing was something which is every customer and our experience when we go in the market across why I need to shift to the cloud is something which was the discussion which used to happen 4 or 5 years back. I'm with AWS for the past 5 years. I joined as a partner development engagement manager about the public sector business and subsequently into the commercial business. And these discussions always like 4 or 5 years shifted from should we shift to the cloud? Now it is how we can shift to the cloud. It's no more a question of now. So I will just take you a bit back a couple of decades, right? If you look at how the technology innovation started happening way back in 1980s, right? It was like a centralized computing. Most of the computing was happening centralized, and what that is called a mainframe technology. And some of our competitors in this market, like IBM's, right? They were pioneers in this technology. Subsequently, I think somewhere in the late 80s and early 90s, we went to the distributed computing. And that war between the centralized computing and distributed computing started for too long, and it was the time to settle that. But one of the biggest challenges, if you look at, right, somewhere in the early 2000s, you had companies like Citrix and Tarantula coming in and talking about how they can actually enhance your centralized computing. But one of the major challenges of the centralized computing was how you can scale it. How is the availability? Will my applications are stable there? What is my cost? So all these questions were actually putting together. AWS started the operation way back in 2006. Now, when it comes to the retail, and there is no discussion which is complete without mentioning Amazon, right? AWS is born out of this retail business in 2006. And if you look at our number of years experience, there are 25 years of experience we have helped the Amazon in terms of building the new capabilities, new solutions, in order to lessen the friction for the customer, right? Ultimately, we all are striving to ensure that our customers should have a very seamless, enjoyable experience while working with our brand. So in that perspective, if you look at this, these are the three pillars on which AWS is actually offering a solution to our partners and the customers. So as you can see that we have more than 25 years of experience into the retail industry itself. And as a pioneer in the cloud services, I think we mentioned, Ramanan was mentioned on the microservices, right? So we are the first one who built this microservices capabilities and given to our partners and the customers so that they can build their solution on the AWS platform. The second, on the database side, I'm sure that most of the customers here who are using the traditional database, I don't want to mention the name of those, but it's one of the most costly proposition. Whenever you do your budgeting, I think one part of that goes into the licensing part of it, whether you can afford it or not. And that is where the AWS has come up with the concept of having a purpose-built database systems. So your solution, your pointed solution that your partners are developing, can we have a purpose-built database there? And that can actually reduce your total cost of ownership. And AWS is having more than 11 such a purpose-built databases. We can help you in build that solution for ensuring that your customers are getting a seamless experience. And on the top of that, the whole objective is to reduce the total cost of your IT budget. And third is, of course, we have more than 200 services that we can offer. And all those services, our technical people can come and talk to you, can give you the more details of each services, along with our retail competency partners like Intellect. This is what, when AWS and Amazon together has having an experience of more than 25 years in innovating in the retail industry. So I will not go through all the details, but if you can look at this, it is the Amazon, right? I'm sure that most of you have visited the Amazon site. We built that concept of taking the customer feedback, right? Whether it is good or bad, and mention below the product. And that is something many people actually initially, when this concept was brought in, should we actually include that? Because every bad feedback will actually can create some kind of customer turnaround. They will have that negative perception of the product. But nevertheless, that became one of the most successful factor for us, for the Amazon. So these are some of the, whether it's a voice commerce, right? Or Ramanan was making that point, that when the customer is coming out of after the shopping, even if he or she spends a whole 1 day or 10 hours, but at the time, they don't want to wait in the queue. So that is where the concept like a Just Go, which is already there, right? Amazon has built that. So we can actually help you build you all these technologies and solutions and services for your customers. Sorry. Okay. So this is what Amazon and AWS built together. So I will not go through this in detail, whether it is a retail logistic distribution or solution. In fact, last 1 year, we have worked with a multiple set of the retail customers, right? I can name for you, right from the food industry to the luxury brand so if you look at each, retail itself, in my opinion, is a misnomer. You have so different set of workloads and different set of industries, right? It could be electronic goods, it could be a luxury, it could be anything, right? So the workloads, if you look at that, those are so different for each of the industry, and their problems, their end customers are very different. So when you are looking at them, so what we can do, we can share our experience, that what we have learned, along with the help of our technology partners like Intellect, and solve your problems regarding the technology and the business issues. Now, why cloud infrastructure? And this is one right now, in the beginning I was talking, why the cloud infrastructure or the cloud became so important. I don't think so any customer across, whether it is an enterprise customer or a startup customer or someone is building there on the digital native, everyone is talking about the cloud. And one of the major reasons for the cloud, if you look from the security perspective, what you can build in your own data center and what is there in the cloud is a very different. Second, the scalability. Now, in a retail industry, scalability is so critical. So if you have to do certain, build your own data center, taking in consideration the workloads which are coming in the peak season, I'm sure that that will be a very costly proposition. Wherein if you go on the cloud, the scalability that is offered on the cloud, on the on-demand basis, you don't have to really spend. We have both the commercial levers and the technical levers that can help you in a particular day or a particular month of the day or the week of the, your season. You can actually scale up your infrastructure, scale down your infrastructure, and that will save a lot of cost for our customers. And that is where cloud makes a lot of difference. So, reliability. I'm sure that most of the customers, I know the customer, one of the customer here in Mumbai based, and till a few months back, he was running his one of the very important segment on the on-prem. But that infrastructure was down continuously for more than 72 hours. And when they estimated what was the cost they have incurred because of that downtime, that is something very disproportionate to the amount of the cost they could have incurred on the cloud. The very next time, they have immediately shifted their workload to the cloud. And that is where you see a lot of customers today, where there is a high dependency, where there is a reliability is the core, the cloud is one of the solution for them. And of course, the lowering the cost. So why AWS? Why it has been differentiated than the other hyperscaler? We are not like any other hyperscaler. If you look at experience itself, because everything comes out of experience. Today, we have a 16 years of experience in the building this AWS infrastructure and the solution along with our partners and customers. One of the leadership principles on which we work, and these leadership principles are ingrained in us, all the Amazonian, is a customer obsession. And when we say customer obsession, it is something we learn. We learn about the business challenges and the problems of our customer and work backward. And sometimes, even our customer doesn't know the kind of problems they might be facing in the future. We anticipate those problems and we work towards it. So that is where you see this experience really makes a lot of difference when you select your hyperscaler. Second, the reach and the availability. We have a 96 availability zone spanning 30 geographical regions. And this is one area which is very critical for the customer when they decide their hyperscaler. I'm sure most of you will have your businesses not only in India, but spread across all the globe. And when you look at the global availability, these regions and availability zones makes that much difference. Security and compliances, as I was talking, we have more than 300 plus security features available. And this is something what, when we will meet one-on-one, I will talk, we can discuss on the security features that you can implement. Because this is something what we call as the shared responsibility model. The responsibility in the cloud and of the cloud, and how we deploy it with the help of our partners and customers. So infrastructure, we are 3x more energy efficient. And here comes one of the major differentiator between AWS and rest of the hyperscaler. From the 2006 till date, we have reduced the cost 111 times. So how we do it? So this is something we always look at economy of scale. More the customers are coming to on the AWS infrastructure, more we get that economy of the scale. And I can tell you, AWS is probably the only hyperscaler which kept on reducing the price on their infrastructure, whether it is a compute, storage, or any managed services that we offer. On the one critical, I think, Retail business is largely driven in today's world on your artificial intelligence and your machine learning. And these kind of, 81% of this machine learning, all deep learning, is running on AWS. And one of the reasons, because we are the pioneer in this. Again, I'm quoting the Ramanan. I think he was talking about his experience on the hair straightening or something, right? Because if you do not target your customer for the right purpose, the time of effort, money you are putting will only go west. You need to target your customer, and that is where the machine learning and artificial intelligence will come in the picture. So ecosystem, as I said, we have more than 4,500 applications on AWS, which are from the 1,400 odd ISVs. So that helps you to build all the solution for your needs. I already spoke about it. So here is the success story of the AWS. You can see most of the retail customers, they are on AWS. There are a lot of queries, questions, doubts which keep coming in the customer's mind when they talk about why I should be on AWS. I'm a retail. So if you can see that most of the brands across globe, they trust AWS and AWS infrastructure for their business, and the reasons which I already quoted earlier. So that should give you enough confidence next time when you're looking for moving your infrastructure to a cloud, by default, it should be AWS. Yeah. So these are the four pillars for your digital transformation. And I'm sure that most of you are looking, if already not thinking about it, digital transformation is the only way to go forward if you want to be competitive in this market. And I myself have gone through a lot of experience as a consumer, right? Any company which is not here right now, if I'm not getting my product at the right time, if I'm not getting the product of my choice at the right time, probably I'm not your customer. And today the permutation combinations, right from the availability of the product to the cost, everything is so high. You go on any of those Amazon.in and you will find a tens of options for you. So digital transformation can actually help you to reach your target customer easily in the fast pace, and at the same time reducing your total cost of acquiring the customer. Thank you so much. If you have any question, we can take it later, but thank you for your patience. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Deshmukh. I think you spoke quite well, especially on as to how AWS is enabling retail sector to do innovation. And one thing which I could make out of your presentation is that the cloud has become the de facto platform for innovation. And downtime is no longer an option for any organization. And thanks to the cloud technology, because if you look at some time back when cloud was not there, possibly 10, 12 years back, especially, I'm just giving you the example, during the results announcement time for a school, 10th and 12th classes, the kind of news we used to hear around suicide and all the students doing because of data error, not getting the result on time. And when actually cloud came, one of the state, I'm not naming the state, they utilizes some of the services of AWS. And that was one of the Bimaru estate, and for that particular year, that state deliver their result for the first time before CBSE. So you can imagine the kind of quality that cloud can actually offer you. Also, going forward, dependency on the next generation technology, especially to have a high-end automation and better visibility, which Mr. Deshmukh mentioned, deep learning and machine learning, is really important. And good part with the cloud is that, especially with the AWS, it's not only providing you an underlying infrastructure, but on top of that, there are a lot of inbuilt solutions like Poly for language, for deep learning, and other thing is available. So you can do a lot of experiment within your tech architecture. You need not to buy solution from different solution provider. Obviously, heterogeneity will be there. Possibly you'll be depending on different type of players, but a lot of things you can do within the cloud, within one of your partner. So thank you so much for bringing all of them. So now next we'll move to the panel discussion. And the topic of this panel discussion is how retailers are adapting to serve new age consumer and drive profit. And for the panel discussion, we will be joined by Mr. Radhakrishnan, co-founder Tata StarQuick, Mr. Rupendra Nigam, Vice President IT, Spykar Lifestyle, Ms. Priya Arora, Head Operation at Modern Bazaar, and Mr. Ramanan Venkata, Director Intellect Commerce and CEO India and South Asia Intellect Design, and Mr. Ram Deshmukh, Enterprise PSM Leader for AWS India.
So first of all, thank you so much for joining us for this panel discussion. And since morning, we have been discussing as to how the technology is helping retail sector. And we noticed that, especially during the pandemic, the reliance on digital transformation went to a different level altogether. And in a post-pandemic world, we are noticing that there has to be a better integration between online and offline retail store. And based on those behavior, as well as the consumer behavior, which has changed over the last 2.5 years, we see the digital strategy for different organizations somehow getting adjusted. And there is more focus on integration, more focus on having the same level of customer experience, either online or offline. I'll begin from the right itself with you. What kind of trend you are witnessing in the market, especially from a digital strategy perspective, in relation to the consumer behavior that we are noticing in the post-pandemic world?
Yeah, in my opinion, in the retail industry, I think we are seeing a major shift post-pandemic. One is that the consumer behavior had changed drastically from the perspective that if you look from the buying pattern, more and more customers are relying on your e-commerce platform. So it's very important, every organization which is in a retail segment, they should have a very robust e-commerce platform. So that their customer can actually buy the product from anywhere. It can be delivered anywhere. It can be purchased at the right price, right? Without inconvenience to your end customer. That's one point of it from the consumer behavior. The second part which I'm noticing largely is that most of the retailers are struggling because there are so many new programs or your promotions that are coming in. For example, your inventory management. It is becoming a very difficult, particularly on the online commerce. For example, when the customer is actually going and returning whatever they're buying, is it coming back to your shelf area, right? Where it is going? Are you really tracking it? Is it really becoming an asset or is it becoming a liability? That's one part of it. Whether your system, right, the solutions are tightly integrated with your ERP, your CRM, your finance. If it is not, then there will be a 2-minute disconnect within the organization, and you will really not get the picture of what actually happening. And that is where I believe that post-pandemic, this is becoming more critical. And I'm seeing more and more retailers, they are looking at the technology as an enabler for them to solve these issues.
Absolutely. Ma'am, I'll come to you. From an operational perspective, we do also see the challenges, especially you'd like to have the visibility across your inventory as to what is happening at different stores, and even the consumers as to how actually they are interacting with you. Would you like to share what kind of trends you are actually witnessing?
So as a retailer, for the past 50 years, Modern Bazaar is a 50 years old store, but with its presence online has been very, very recent. So we realized during the pandemic that data is the new currency, and data is where we need to invest on. And we thought so that, because the customers were really not getting what they were looking for on the online platform during the pandemic. But we had many other options like WhatsApp and everything, but that did not serve the purpose later on once the market was a little better. But what we are, the challenges that what we are facing right now is the integration. The integration has to be there because the customer is looking for a seamless and absolutely, flowing shopping experience where the stock should be available, the inventory has to be right in place. This is the biggest challenge what we face as retailers, that we are not able to manage our inventory across the 17 stores. with a presence online. So we feel that the customer does deserve to be, the risk of stocks not being out, and the customer should get what they are looking for. That is our primary aim. But for that, we really need to uh, uh, depend on technology, looking for artificial intelligence and Internet of Things. These are what we are looking for, because we want to give our customer a tailored base, what you call experience, where they should get what they are looking for. And this is not possible unless and until we invest into technology. So this is what personally I feel.
Absolutely. Mr. Ramanan, ultimately the things is coming to having a greater integration, and that is primarily a visibility. But there are something, for example, the supply chain problem that we faced over the last many years. And many a times you might not be having some of those visibility because you are completely dependent on different types of partner. Would you like to share your experience, especially as to how technology platforms, a platform which is a plug and play mode, which is highly integrated, could be able to give you a different level of visibility altogether, possibly may help retailer in terms of easing down some of the challenges that ma'am was mentioning?
Thank you very much. I think the reality of life is online and offline are here to stay, right? I mean, there's no two ways about it. It's not that offline is going to die and everybody is going to go online. And I want to share a personal experience that I went through. I have a 17-year-old son. Recently, he had to wear specs. So I mean, nothing against the brand. You see a lot of ads saying that come online, buy specs. I asked him, do you want to do it online? He said, no, I want to go to the store, try out all the frames available before I choose. Okay. So irrespective of technology being available, offline is going to stay. That is the first point. Second is, when you try to integrate, it is very important that it has to be real time. Even if there's a gap of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, there is only one product available, I've just chosen it, somebody is trying to buy it and it's stores available, and then you bought it and then you've been told, no, it's stock out, then the experience is bad. So the integration has to be seamless, it has to be real time. It's like doing a movie ticket booking. You choose a seat, and if they tell you, no, it's already taken, you have a bad experience. You can't let bad experience come into play. If somebody started, you block it till the transaction is completed, the payment is being received. It is not just integration of these IT systems, it's also integration of payments. Okay, you have to get the payment, the complete reconciliation, so that you know that full amount has been received and taken care of. Having said that, I mean, during one of my conversations with a very senior gentleman from the retail sector, I mean, he was talking to me saying that today, if you look at related environment, so disruption can come from anywhere, right? I mean, you can learn from anywhere. Fast tags, right? How the disruptions has happened, right? First disruption was when adoption of FASTag, saying that if you don't have FASTag, pay double the money. Okay, people all adapted to FASTag. Now you don't even have to wait in the counter. You just keep driving so that it gets automatically detected. Okay, so the question that was asked to me is, what can you learn from FASTag to create a self-checkout? Okay, you create loyalty tiers. Okay, if the customer profile is already available to you, can you let the customer pick and walk out and you deduct from their bank account the items that they have picked up? Okay, that's the level of disruption that could happen in future. Okay, I'm sure Amazon, those kind of stores are already available in some parts of the world. Can it be in our part of the world as well? Okay, where you're trusting the customer to pick something and walk out and you can automatically detect. Okay, so this is possible and only possible through technology. I think that's the point about it.
Mr. Nigam, earlier we were speaking and you spoke quite well as to how, different parts in the background you have integrated, and that is actually helping you in terms of managing your online as well as a discrete store across the country. But what we notice many a times that when you have a good architecture and technology platform, possibly you are able to do fantastic thing in the back end, and that gives you a lot of visibility. But many a times are fronted, especially the customer who is just standing in front of a shelf, and we might not be able to give the kind of back end experience that we have as to how many minutes he is looking at one particular product, whether he is going to come back and buy the same thing. Even the checkout experience differ from store to a store. For example, I'm just taking the name for example, Decathlon. I mean, they have somehow tried to integrate some of the thing that is already available in the Western market, wherein you can swipe your card itself and go out and do a lot of things. And what Mr. Ramanan was alluding to, a next level of, a fast tag kind of thing, wherein your profile is already there, and the things you are picking, those could be actual, and you can do an auto checkout. Could you share how we can balance basically our back-end and front-end experience for customer as well as for our internal employee?
See, if we are doing any business, not only one segment, food or retail or garment, customer as on date need fast and immediate solution. People are not having patience. Ki today you will give, tomorrow they will get. No, they want to buy now and they want to immediate action on that. And generally I have seen many retailers are doing the business online, but post-sale, customer feedback is not taken by them, or they are not evaluated very well. But what they say is technology is not supporting or something is not working. So we have to manage the things both sides, technology and business, and work accordingly. In this, the way, I will give you example, the way we are using our car. We are filling the fuel from multiple petrol pumps, but we are maintaining our car well. Whether this petrol pump is giving fuel 1% less or this is 1% higher or some mixing, everything is happening there in the market. So you have to keep your system up to date and maintain well so that your business should not suffer pain and it should work smoothly and your consumer should not suffer. If consumer one time will suffer, next time he will turn out from your shop or your website. So please make sure that your maintenance is always important. The way you are doing morning walk, same way you have to maintain your system up to date. And as far as our colleague mentioned, inventory is not there, integration is issues. So I will say that other side counter table people are also doing the business. They want money, you want business, you want transactions. So just shake hand with them properly, not half hand, and you will get your integration also very well. You will get your inventory also very well. Just to teach them, because they don't know business. You have to tell them business, and your IT team should enough capable to run the business. They should not be like this, they are only technology provider, or they have done just coding, if then else, rest is business part. No. This is both sides, and then your consumer will come to your shop and your sale will increase, your profit will increase. And mainly in retail sector, we are seeing the people who are doing the warehouse or inventory part, they are not much educated. Nowadays, everybody is using mobile app. Mobile, everybody knows how to run. Don't give big screen to your team or warehouse. Give mobile. Convert into app. Integrate with the API. They will work. And they will work much better. I will give you example. We are doing in one location warehouse where we are doing per day 40,000 in and out. After converting into mobile app-based transaction, I am doing 80,000 per day transaction in and out, same working hours. Not same. We have enough time to validate data. And inventory is up to date, real-time transaction. Either my store, offline, or online, or my back-end office. So just make a collaboration between business and IT and technology partner. All three are the pillar of the table. So just joint hand, you will get all. And ultimate consumer feedback is important, and as AWS team mentioned, they are putting the feedback on the site, whether it is good or bad. You mentioned there. Some people are ignoring or removing the bad feedback. Don't do. It will improve your customer service team or marketing team performance if you will add these terms in the website.
Absolutely. Mr. Radhakrishnan, very important thing Mr. Nigam mentioned, that ultimately the goal is to enable business. And technology is an enabler. Another factor is ultimately leading to as to how the business could be run in a proper way. I would like to understand from you in a brief remarks, especially based on the pandemic challenges that we witnessed, and we saw some of the changes in the consumer behavior also. The business understanding of both the situation also has evolved over the years. What kind of changes are you noticing, especially from the digital perspective these days?
Okay, I think we shouldn't put all the technology into a pot and stir it. Technology is very different. Myself have been in this business for more than 40 years. I don't think there was a time when there was lower realization that we don't need technology. All the time we needed technology. And you know this thing about inventory management problem, it's a very old problem. There is nothing new about it. The only thing is now it is real time. Even in a store, I've run thousands of stores at a time. The biggest problem is, how do you predict who will walk through that door? You take a prediction of the past, you take a regression of the past, and you put a certain number of pieces on the shelf, whether it is jeans or whether it is jam, doesn't matter, you put it on the shelf. But today it was raining and nobody came, and tomorrow is the finals of World Cup, so nobody is going to come, or there's a cricket match, or things are boring on TV, everybody is coming to the store. It can be anything. The predictability of stock has always been a problem. Now the problem has become even more, because you want to now show that stock to a customer who is sitting 10 kilometers away, and they have options. Now they have to just flick with a thumb to move from one outlet to another, and therefore once the customer is in the store, they will substitute one with the other. But when you're online, substitution is, first of all, technologically not yet possible, or they have other options to go and shop. The online consumers, what we've learned through the pandemic, I think, when you say pandemic, now it looks as if it's something so very, very far away, and thank God for that. We don't care anymore, but I think it's a learning. I don't think there was a time ever that online was not important. I once worked with a very senior industry leader who hated online before, but during pandemic, he didn't have online when he needed it, and today his business does not exist. I'm talking of a business which is more than 30,000 crores today. So some people have that aversion towards online. You may not like it, but you can't hate it. You have to love it and you have to embrace it. So online is a reality. To give you examples from my own business, I'm in the grocery business as part of the Tata grocery online purchase. It's called StarQuick. The most startling fact is that of the 7 lakh live customers that we have, and we have a Star Bazaar store, we have the phone numbers of the people who shop in the store, because we have a loyalty program in the store, and we have the phone numbers of people shopping online. 90% of the people who shop online do not shop in the store, which means there is only less than 10% cannibalization. This is not even cannibalization. People are buying omni-channel is only 10%. I think the biggest paradigm shift is that the age of the customer who's shopping in the store is at least 15 years more than the customer shopping online. What they want is completely different. The young, we shouldn't give too much credit to the young people that they know everything. They don't. But the point also is that their requirements are very different. Some of them don't care about the price. Some of them are extremely price focused. So we have to figure that piece out. So net, I think we should fragment technology into what we're using it for. The business remains exactly the same. The challenges of the business are exactly the same. I'm from a grocery business. I've not seen that change for 40 years.
Absolutely. Mr. Deshmukh, very important point, especially from technology perspective, and also what Mr. Radhakrishnan mentioned, that the profile of the young customer is slightly different. The kind of requirement they are putting in on the system is different. Whether they are going online, offline, is slightly different. What we are noticing that, the organization are trying to be a kind of, even the large corporates, which is legacy organization, they are actually trying to be composable enterprise, wherein different things could be plugged in here and there and business could be done. Other thing Mr. Nigam mentioned on the feedback part, which is very important. Online, somehow you have the mechanism you are able to put in, and you do have the visibility. Offline, there are some systems, but how successful those are and how much we are actually investing in our feedback mechanism, which is directly related to the customer experience, I think there is a lot needs to be done on that part. Could you share your thoughts, especially on the composable enterprise architecture, and why this feedback has to be an embedded factor for a sustainable customer experience and growth for any organization?
Yeah, absolutely. So just coming to your point of the composable infrastructure, and if you look at from the today, because retail, in my opinion, is one of the most competitive segment, and where the price points are something which every retailer is very concerned about, because one is you have a very high volume, but very low margins. That is one area which, from that perspective, if I look at some 5 to 10 years back, right, and you talk to any retailer and their CIOs, you will always find that they will say that, look, I have a very limited budget when it comes to the investment. And this is the fact, right, because your CEO, your board will always say that, look, this is the amount, X% I can afford. But, and that is where this composable infrastructure, or the infrastructure that can actually help you, came in the picture. You always take in consideration the peak workload at any given point, right, before you're online. When you do that, what you actually do, you configure the systems, whether it is a computer or a storage, something, you look at, okay, in the month of Diwali vacation, I will have a 1 million or a 2 million, and taking that in consideration, you will build your infrastructure. But for the rest of the months, for the rest of your year, you may not have the same traffic, you may not have, so that infrastructure actually is a cost which you are incurring. It's becoming more of a liability. And that is where the infrastructure, which the cloud can provide, right? Scaling at any given point of time. You can scale up. That elasticity will actually help you to give that. Not only the elasticity is one component. When we talk about the composable infrastructure, compute, storage are the given. What makes even the differentiator is that the data that you are storing, right? What you can make from that data, whether that data can actually throw the intelligent output from it. And that is where your composable infrastructure, one, you reduce the cost of it. It should be available all the time. And that is where the hyperscaler like the AWS can help the organization and the retailer. The another important point from the perspective of the innovation, microservices. I was looking at one of the real retailer, and we asked them, can you put your all these applications that you're using and the infrastructure? At the end of that discussion, it was looking like he was everywhere. It was difficult to make out, and that is where the microservices architecture is really helpful for the retailer. The other important aspect, and that I'm personally seeing in my last 1 year post-pandemic, is that I cannot name the customer, but you can make out because most of us visit that. Your supply chain, right, is so critical. Like if it's a food chain, they were supplying all the raw material to the various stores across. They have more than 1,400 outlets across India. But the challenge is that if you are putting the raw material in one branch of, suppose for example, Powai or here in Santa Cruz, but if the customer availability is more in Powai or some other part of it, but your infrastructure is lying here, first you need to gather that intelligence, real-time intelligence, and give the feedback to your system. that this particular raw material is lying here or this end product is lying here, but it is required more into other branch rather than here. So these are some of the things which can be integrated with your data by making the meaningful sense of your data by means of having your analytics, your artificial intelligence and machine learning deeply embedded across all your system. And if you can do it, and then you will see the real differential coming from the cloud and composable infrastructure.
Ma'am, earlier you were mentioning about some of the challenges, especially from the integration perspective that we are focusing on. And we understand that for any retail brand, having visibility around your inventory, having a greater understanding of your POS machine, those are really important. But somehow there are some of the pieces still missing. As sir mentioned earlier, that inventory problem is one of the oldest one. It is still there. The volume has gone to a different level altogether. If I have to ask you something, what are the two key challenges that you see the retail industry is facing right now, which as a retail leader from a tech perspective, we must put our energy on in order to address that?
See, definitely technology has to be upgraded and updated, and we have to have we have to keep a tailored, we have to keep a check on a customer experience. We have to see what is, as he rightly said, like, the new age customers. Now, a new age customer or a customer who's been like not old, but a very brand loyal customer. Now, we have to analyze what is the new age customer looking at and what is the customer who's a brand conscious customer. Maybe that brand conscious customer, if that particular item is not available, he may go anywhere because there are so many options available. So this is something we would like to keep a track on and analyze the data based on the age as well. That is the biggest challenge for us as now what we are facing, because we are not really very good with managing our inventory, though it's been an old age problem, but we are looking at a solution for that. Also, I personally feel as a retail industry, I would want to have a triple win kind of a concept for us, which includes a win for my customer, which includes a win for the brand that we are displaying, and definitely profitability for us also, which is not happening so right now, but I would definitely want to have a solution to that.
Absolutely. Mr. Venkataraman, there are organizations which is already traditional. They have invested a lot in the technology platform. Some of them might be in silos, but doing fantastic. And since the evolution of cloud technology and the cloud actually giving you an edge to be competitive, be sustainable down the line, there are a lot of organizations looking for modernization. And that is a question actually they look at what I should modernize. Should I actually modernize and should I directly go to the cloud? Since you deal with both e-commerce as well as the retail store, could you share your thought, especially what should be the ideal strategy, especially on the modernization part, when you have some of the pieces which is legacy based, maybe some old database management technology, not autonomous one of the organization talking these days. What strategy do you opt for?
Okay. Before I answer that, I was just thinking when Mr. Radhakrishnan was mentioning, inventory as a problem has always existed. It's just that it has compounded. Okay, I was looking at myself and a personal thing came. I've been trying to lose weight for many years, and now there is technology, right? I mean, I've downloaded a mobile app, says Healthify Me. Does that solve my problem? I still struggle to lose weight. So technology alone is not a solution. You have to know how to use the technology to achieve the benefits that you're trying to achieve. Okay, so the training, the related, usage, how do I? Determination. so it's so a lot of people think that I put good money behind bad, and then I spend money. Why have things not changed? Okay, it's not about spending money. It is about how and where. Okay, so I think the next point that came up was, it is anything that you want to do is integrated. It is not IT will do this. It is not business will do it. It is not ops will do it. How do you strategize and everybody come together with a common objective? What is it that I'm trying to solve? Okay, what do I need to do? Which is the IT or partner that I have to engage to solve this? Okay, just putting and decisioning. I mean, sometimes I find it really difficult conversation where somebody is negotiating with you saying only on price. Okay, price is just one aspect of it. What is the value I'm going to get out of the price? Is the partner going to be responsive after I pay the money to deliver value? I think all this has to be thought through. Now coming to the point on which should I spend more money on, again it's a strategy that there is no, I mean, I love to read comics. If you remember Asterix, okay, there's a druid, right? I mean, who will, all these guys will drink and beat up the Romans. There's no single magic potion that can be a common fix for everybody. Each organization is different, the needs are different, okay? They have to decide their strategy, what will work for them, okay? For some, if their back-end infrastructure is already solid, maybe they should go to the front end or vice versa, okay? But if you, I'm unrelated industry, I'll give you an example. In BFSI, insurers in India were first to adopt technology for customer onboarding, okay? And I remember one of the insurers used to get digital forms filled from the customer. Then they will download it in the backend, send it to a data entry team, okay, who will do the data entry and then issue a policy. They've lost the plot, right? If you've not integrated your front-end form with your back-end system for issuance, you've lost the plot. So we need to know if we have as an organization the capability to do end-to-end, and I think that's the solution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Long answer to a
No, absolutely. I completely agree with you. But I sympathize with the banking and insurance industry because they are highly regulated. So many a times your mind actually doesn't work in those days. What RBI will think about it, what IDA will say. So though lot of things those people were doing because of that. Mr. Nigam, I'll come to you. Uh, as Mr. Venkata was talking about, like prioritization ultimately becomes important within your business architecture, what actually you want to solve in and what impact it could have on your business. So I would like to have your views on the prioritization. Also, one important thing where the regulation will come into the picture. So far, somehow the retail industry is highly cloud focused, native one, and possibly a lot of innovation happening. What we do see, there is a visibility that we will have a data policy in place in our country, especially the PDP bill which is pending. That means you will have to somehow manage, especially the PI data, in a very careful manner. And most of the retail industries, technology leaders will have to align to that. So could you share your views, especially on the prioritization part, and second on the data and security part?
See, first, if we have to run the business or we have to support the business and increase the profitability of the business, our infrastructure should be top priority and 100% running, no 99.9. It should be 100% running. And in this area, I have worked with Spykar, and long time back it was not working, and there was some issues were there. And I will give you example. In this year, before Diwali, we implemented ERP, cloud-based ERP and Amazon cloud-based. And before Diwali, no IT person or no business, none of the business run or migrate the ERP basically backend. And we did. Not a single minute downtime or slowness we have faced in this system. And the business which was supposed to do 10 crore, they have done 15 crore. Example, scale-wise also benefit is there. Second, as we mentioned, data security and all this. So when you put your partner on cloud, you have to fix the rules and what policies your company required and what data security required as per industry. So if you will place that in proper shape with your partner, you will not face any challenge. Rest is depend upon you, how you give access of your data to your team or your partner or your XYZ customers. So this is depend upon your policy, but ultimate you have to trust on your partner and sign the document very well, and execution also important. Many people make a policies, but execution is not there. So you execute very well, and for execution, I prefer go to spot. There is a concept in Japanese 3G, go to spot. So if you want to implement in IT business, you are a service provider for business, you have to go to business and sit on the floor and see the real transaction, real pain, and tight the screw. Otherwise, you will not get anything, and you will lose the business, and you will face the problem, and everybody will point towards IT. So if you will tight the screw, nobody will point to you, they will do the business.
Right, absolutely. I think one very important thing that you mentioned is that putting everything in the cloud doesn't mean that you put your responsibility as well. So what you are putting, what policy framework you have, who can access it, those fundamental and super hygiene thing is really important. Sir, I'll come to you, especially earlier you were talking about some of the challenges that we face and as to how the technology was always an embedded part of the business operation for the retail industry. Based on the discussion so far that we had, would you like to share your views, especially on the two important things from a business and tech perspective that you see that as a retail industry sector must focus on in order to ease out some of the major challenges that we have?
So, I mean, I like the point that Mr. Nigam made. In fact, I was going to say the same thing. You sit into, if you were a fly on the wall for corporate discussion reviews, the guns are always trained towards the technology guy, right? Technology is not working. Actually, in my company, I have seen that technology is never the problem. It's only your ability to think of what you do. And exactly to your point, and the Japanese do it very well. You follow, you read the Toyota principles, and it's very clear that you have to first understand your business before you layer a technology on top of it, right? Your technology is only as good as your thinking. And that is exactly the problem. I don't think we have enough thinkers to evolve a business for the consumer. You are hoping that the technology will do that work. It's a futile attempt. I'm not a technologist, but I'm a good user of technology. I know what the consumer wants, and I've never found it to be a problem. I worked with one of the largest retailers in this country, and the first thing that was taught to me is that, look, all these guys, these are all your technology guys. They'll give you hundreds of excuses. You decide what you want to do in business. Maybe it'll happen after a few weeks. So the quintessential problem that we have in our business is that, is your thinking sharp enough? Is it fertile enough? Otherwise, everyone using SAP will give the same result. Why wouldn't? So what is SAP? SAP is like a box of Lego toys. You can make a castle in one form and color or another. Depends what pieces you're picking. Every piece has a separate functionality. Do you understand? Let that be done by SAP. You don't care. What you want has got to be described. I'll give you a case. Many years ago, when I used to work in a company called Food World, we were opening our 50th store in Chennai, in Kilpa. And the worldwide chairman of P&G flew down in his jet, and he inaugurated the 50th store. And retail was very new. I'm talking about the year 2000. And during that evening, P&G made a presentation to us, and one of the slides said that P&G's vision of supply chain. And it said at the bottom, in small letters, it said, paperless business. I'm talking about year 2000. When I started my own business back in 2014 in Gurgaon, which Tata acquired, and today it's called StarQuick. One of the objectives I set for myself is that I will do 100% paperless business. Today we do our business with Tata. Today we pick from the store and deliver to the customer. We do not generate a single piece of paper. 100%. The only paper I generate is what the consumer's bill, and that also starting from January 1st, it'll be sent digitally. I'm telling you, if you set your mind to it, you can make a system. I've got 14 apps working at the back. The microservices, we're going to convert everything into microservices so that you don't tightly couple everything so that one fails and everything else like a domino fails. You make microservices. The other thing we did was, the thing about technology is also it's expensive. We told all our pickers, we've got more than 1,300 pickers in our stores. We told them, we are going to give you 125 rupees every month. You bring your own smartphone, BYOD. 100% of the picking is done by the picker's own phone. Otherwise, every day, the glass is broken, it is not working, button is not working. No problem, because it is now your own phone. It is like buying your own food on Indigo. Nobody complains about the quality of food. So it's exactly like that. I don't think technology is a problem. So don't change. You need to take the gun and point it at yourself, because if technology is not working, you are the problem and not the head of technology.
I think that's the good way to end this panel discussion. We have completely exhausted our time. So thank you so much for being such a wonderful panelist and sharing your views on how retailers are adapting to serve new age consumer and drive profits, and as to how the technology is actually helping and why it is really important to have the business sense of the business so that we can utilize technology in a more efficient way. Also, the composable enterprise architecture, which is really needed for any organization, and why you need to decouple a lot of things. And technology is really here to help you. You just need to do the kind of innovation that you would like to do. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful panelist. Thank you.
Now we'll move to the product presentation from 6DX, and I would like to invite Mr. Amit Gupta, Mr. Chandradesh Sharma, and Mr. Amit Kumar Singh to deliver the product presentation.
Very good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you very much for your precious time and the opportunity that you've given to us to present our offering. Can we have the AV, please? Thank you. My name is Amit Gupta. I'm leading the pre-sales in Intellect Commerce. So before I jump to the product, let me brief you out what we do exactly, who we are, and what we do. So Intellect Commerce, if I talk about especially to the Intellect Commerce is a group company of Intellect Design Arena Group. As a group, we are $250 million plus organization dealing in multiple vertical like banking, insurance, retail, government e-marketplace, HRMS, and many more. But today I'm not going to talk about what we have done so far in RBI or what we have so far in Citibank, HDFC, LIC. We'll focus only to the retail part. Intellect Commerce, we were formerly known as Polaris Retail. Why we were using Polaris? Because still people know us with the brand name Polaris. Especially, we do have presence in 19 plus countries, 50,000 plus installation. More than 70 brands are associated with us in different geography. We do focus in large and medium enterprises, especially to the hypermarket, supermarket, apparel, and lifestyle. And we proudly say that more than 1 million transactions we are handling on day-to-day basis, including all our existing customers. If we talk more on the geographical space, then we do have presence in Africa continent. We do have presence in Southeast Asia. We do have presence in Middle East and India, of course. If we talk about more on the Africa continent, then more than 50% of the space we are covering up, starting from the Botswana, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Tanzania, Mozambique. Even we do have presence in Congo and South Sudan as well. From the Middle East part, we do have presence in Dubai. We do have presence in China as well. And if we specifically talk about the India, then starting from the northern part of the southern part, we do have presence in India as well. In Indonesia, we are focused in Jakarta and the Bali region. So if you're able to see, we do have presence across all the logos. So starting from Future Group or Vishal Mega Mart or Pepito or J Mart, especially talk about Vishal Mega Mart, more than 400 plus stores, 5,000 point of sale solutions. Choppies, a big name, I mean a mini Walmart of Africa, having presence in 7 different countries, more than 500 stores with 5,000 point of sale solutions they are using, they are trusting on us. J Mart, Jalil Holding Group from Dubai. Ratnadeep, again a big name from Hyderabad, more than 100 stores. We are not limited to the private space, we are also having presence in the government, where you can see Kendri Bhandar, more than 100 stores, is a government initiative stores. Trified, Trivals product, you can easily find these stores at airports. WH Smith, Booker, Chandrana. So I mean, if you're able to see all the logos, we believe it's a kind of marriage contract. So it's not limited to what you have delivered in terms of your implementation or in terms of product. Services are very important. So post-sales services are important. Because of that, all our existing customers, the association are pretty old, more than 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. Like Vishal Mega Mart is associated with us since last 10 years. Booker is associated with us in more than 7 years. Modern Bazaar, a very aggressive retail chain from Northern South, they are associated with us. So it's a kind of contract that we are offering to our customer, that we are not only sell the product, we are also taking care of your services. And how we make it possible, that is also very important. So when we design the product, we follow a very simple concept. We called it 3S concept. First S stands for simplicity. We need to understand who is the actual user of your application. So when we talk about the point of sale, actual user of the application is cashier. Your IT head, your business head, your operation head is not going to utilize the application all the time. 80% of your application is going to use by the cashiers. And the biggest challenge of the retail industry is the iteration rate of your cashier. Learning curve is high, training cost is much. So when we were designing the application, we had a thought in the mind that your application must be very simple, because that is going to use by the cashiers. Learning curve must be very less, so that even if the iteration rate is high, the new customers who is going to enroll in your organization should not take much time to learn. So first S is simplicity. Keep your UI is very simple to use. Second S stands for the security. So I would reiterate the point what Mr. Radhakrishnan and Mr. Rupesh has highlighted, that software or technology can't do all the things by their own. You need to have that willing power, that how you're going to utilize the technology. Security can be divided into 2 parts. First is from the technology side, where you need to secure your APIs, you need to secure your data. Data is very important for everyone. I mean, if you talk about the transactional data or you talk about the customer data, both are important. And we're thankful to AWS for managing all the security layers at different ports. But another important thing that from the business management that need to take care is SOPs. If you do not define your SOPs, there is no security. SOPs are not limited to a particular operational thing. SOP is also limited to what cashier is going to do with your end customer. Like let me brief you out a very small example. Like every cashier want everything should be in their hand. He doesn't want any interruption of a supervisor or the manager. Whenever he is scanning the item, he is voiding the item, he is putting any kind of discount coupon or providing the manual discount. He doesn't want anyone should come and interrupt or put any username and password. Bitter truth. But as a business management, you need to decide where you need to put the security layer, at what place. Every time you get hundreds or thousands of excuses. Sir, there is a long queue. I cannot tolerate that supervisor come to us and put the username and password. There are views. I mean, there are multiple things. Why you want a manual username and password? You have the scanner, you just scan it. Or you have a biometric device, you just put the thumb to, to access or pass the application for their security. So again, the second S is very important. Security is very important. The third S stands for the scalability. Even if you have a single POS terminal, even if you are scanning your first item, or you are having the thousands of POS terminal, or you are scanning the hundreds of items, the experience of the point of sale, the checkout process should give you the same experience what you are having in the first scan. So that's why scalability is very important. And again, what AWS is highlighting that good that EC2 is providing the same way where you can expand your services as well. With the help of this 3S concept, all other supporting things will going to help you out. Whether you talk about your real-time data, you talk about your high performance, your express checkout, your customer centricity, where you can identify who is your actual customer and what is the behavior of your customer. So the buying pattern is very important to identify. For example, you are selling a product who is best fitted for the ladies, and you are sending the message to the to such some other target audience. So you need to identify your audience to whom you are targeting with your product. Your seamlessly integrations would we are highlighting every time that integration is very important. So your seamlessly integration with your omni-channel, seamlessly integration with your ERPs, seamlessly integration with your other service providers is very important, so that you can have a feel of real-time data syncing. You can actually manage your inventory and all other things. Even if we are moving towards the cloud, we are moving towards the real-time syncing and everything, but we should always have a mitigation plan, so that if there is no internet connectivity, your billing should never be stopped, because that is the primary motto of every retailer. So we do have a concept of offline billing, where if you do not have an internet connectivity, the data will sync once you have the internet connectivity. So during that period, the data will save into your local machine, and once the connectivity is up, we do have a backend APIs that will sync the entire data to your cloud. So that is the offline concept we were talking about. We'll talk more on the technology part, that what is MAC, how we are managing the open architecture, what is the composable architecture, and more on to the services part. I'll request Mr. Chandesh Sharma to put some light on how we are managing the MAC in our product. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amit. Okay, so since morning, everyone is highlighting about the composability of the retail. And while we were evolving this architecture and we were discussing about the new product, which is 60X, and we were discussing about the design of the new product, it was highlighted by everyone that retail is not simple. Even in today's discussions as well, everyone has highlighted the same, that retail is not simple. And why it is not simple? It's why it's complex, because it's not the requirement. It's basically the uniqueness of the each business. Even the simple grocery store, every grocery store is not same. So when you call out modern Bazaar's requirement, when you call out future group's requirement, when you call out Tata requirement, so everything is not unique. So every requirement doesn't fit into everyone's shoes. So so that's why we came up with this architecture of composable retail design, where we curated this entire product in such a fashion that each component can be used as a composable thing, and it can fit into everyone's requirement. So we doesn't force everyone to take everything. Okay, so it can be tailor-made. What you want, you can take, and you can use, or what you want to use. So as I said that composability, by the mean of composability, we mean that whatever you are taking, it's been pluggable, scalable, and you can upgrade it through our continuous seamless CI/CD pipelines in the background running on top of the cloud. And why it is required? Because it empowers you for your business possibilities to optimize your business, your inventories, and your services to your end customers. And integrations are also very important, because you need everything at the real time. And why you need it at the real time? Because there are a lot of dots connected on the cloud at multiple angles. So there are a few dots at the customer's end, where customer want to see how much real-time inventory is available in your stores, and your procurement guys want to see what is the next procurement life cycle, and when they want to procure, what they want to procure. So everything they want in the real time. So in order to do this, we realized that we should open some touch points so that it can be integrated and openly integrated with all the systems. So we created open APIs, and using those open APIs can be easily integrated with all other different systems. It's not our system, it can be other third-party systems as well. Okay, so now let's come to the Mac architecture. So how we created and evolved this composable architecture using Mac. So Mac, as you all aware, since morning we are all discussing about Mac, what Mac is all about. It's all microservices, cloud native, API first, and headless. And how microservices had helped us to evolve this composable architecture using, because with microservices, we can declub all these components. So while we were evolving this product, we realized that there are a lot of requirements, and all the requirements are basically required for different market segments. So we clubbed all these relevant requirements and relevant services into different microservices, and created different microservices, and it hosted over the cloud. And we created this architecture using cloud native technologies of AWS and other cloud partners, so that it's not relevant to only one cloud, it can be hosted anywhere. So it's cloud independent also. Everything is working on the API, so you need not to dependent on the UI. Okay, so everything, every calculation, every tax calculation, every promotion calculation, every discount calculation is happening on the API end. So nothing is basically dependent on the UI end. So it's basically headless. So later on, if you want to do some customization at the UI layer, and you want to come up with your own UI set, you can basically have those APIs in place, integrated with our APIs, and create your own head on top of our APIs. Okay, so this is the high-level technical architecture of 6DX open composable open retail architecture. So basically here you can see that there are multiple components. First is master data management, which is a typical retail component of for all the systems, which is MDM that we call. So this MDM basically we can have integration of the MDM with any of the third-party ERP using our open APIs, which are basically available on the cloud, and it's been secured by our own security layers. And this all integration is done using RESTful APIs. So all the data comes in to our system of MDM. We first posted in our staging table after certain validations at our validation layer, so that none of the junk and garbage data comes into our system, and so that it corrupts further to our entire system. So now, once this entire data comes into, so this data may range from product, price, tax, and store info, and much more, like promotions can also come from ERPs. Once this data is there into our staging table, we move this data into our transaction tables. And once this data is moved to the transaction database, it can be synced to our terminals. So basically, this is on the cloud. So the first part you see is on the cloud, and the next part in the end is offline. Okay. So in order to facilitate the end customer in terms of network fluctuations and all, we do support the offline capabilities. And in order to facilitate the cashier to do the offline billing, we need to do the data syncing to the offline terminal as well. Okay, so this application is basically a thin client-based application, which can run on any browser. So this billing is no more dependent on any application. So you can run this application on any browser. So you do the billing on the browser itself. So entire end-to-end billing will work on the browser. Okay, so you have a client application running at the terminal level, which will do this data syncing from the cloud to the till, and cashier do the billing by scanning the item. And once the item is scanned, we get the item information. If you are doing the cloud-based billing, you'll get the SKU level information from the cloud APIs, which are running on the AWS or some other cloud it may be. And once you get the item level information, that information is you receive after all the tax calculations, all the promotion calculations, and all the discount calculations, which is running on top of that item. And you receive that item information, you take the payments. So we have another system for doing for getting the payments from any vendors you can have. Okay, so for payment collection, you can get the payment from any digital tenders. You can have the mixed sort of tenders. You can have cash tenders. So there are 70 varieties of tenders available. So from a customer's point of view, it's very simple. But from retailer's point of view, you'll have to, it's not very simple, but you'll have to pretend that it has to be simple. Okay, so this entire thing should happen so seamlessly that you have to avoid, you need to, the entire user experience should not be basically spoiled. Okay, so a primary goal, as Amit said, that who is the user for this application? The cashier who is the user of this application has to avoid those serpentine queues in front of the cash counter. Okay, so once this entire billing is done, we submit the bill and the data is posted into our BI segments, which is a loyalty BI and the sales BI. And once the data is posted into our BI, we have our analytics layer running on top of the BI engine. And you can see all the reports, and you can have your own third-party tools running on top of this BI. So we have some open APIs. With that, you can integrate your own BI application which you wish to want to get from the market. Okay, so using these open APIs, you can have that integration seamlessly done. And on top of it, once this bill is submitted and data is posted in the BI, the same thing can be sent to the notification engine. So once this is sent to the notification engine, what notification engine does, it basically send the push notifications to notifications and emails and other things to the end customer. So if you want to send e-receipt or some other information like customer feedback and all, you can send it using our notification services. Okay, so the next segment is the CRM segment. So using the CRM segment, it covers the loyalty part, coupon part, promotion part, and campaign part. Okay, so the data which you gather, and we get it in our cloud. Okay, we do all the loyalty programs, whatever is running, and whatever the loyalty points that you provide. So there are a number of loyalty programs that you can define using our CRM, which we call Engage. So in Engage, we can define the loyalty programs, the loyalty numbers that we calculate on the basis of the pre-configured loyalty programs, and the marketing campaign that we run in the loyalty component can also help us evolving the customer retention part. Okay, so next part. Okay, so these are the next segment for the 6DX. I would like to invite Amit Kumar Singh for demonstrating it further.
Thanks, Chandresh and Amit. I am extending this discussion. The white 6DX. Basically, 6DX having 6 dimensions. So while designing the product, we have a thought in mind to how we drive the product concept. So we have more than the 90 user journeys. We group together all the user journeys and divided into different sections. So each dimension has a different faces. Each dimension has 8 or 9 faces. So we group together all the faces. We drive the 6 dimensions together. These 6 dimensions together, we have see the different way to see the problems. The first, we identify how many partners is there who are going to impacted with these applications. The first partner we found that the IT partners. We are going to use this deploy the application and provide the services to the operation team to handle the different operations. So major challenge is there to make sure the application is up and running on the 100% or 99.99%. And IT teams receive every time different peripheral devices and EXCs. It is very difficult to put together the devices and up and running devices on a time. So that is the more important. The first one is the IT team. Second one is operation team. Operation team has a responsibility to start the operation on time in a store and end the operations on a time. So second partner is the operation team, and third partner is the marketing team. Marketing team has the responsibility to analyze the promotions and what type of promotion they are going to impose, and to bring the customer in a stores. The third partner is the marketing team, and fourth one is definitely the customers who are going at the stores and do the purchase. And last partner is the government. The government is different compliances from the government, the taxations. So we have an easy way to configure the taxations and apply the taxation on the articles. To group together all the dimensions, that dimension solve all the retailers' front end challenges at the stores, since start of the day to the end of the day. So I am going to start with the fast checkout. We analyzed that sometime we found that in the store there is approximately 20,000 items, but in their databases more than a lakhs of items. So why they have a lakhs item? Because in that they have a challenge to if item has a multiple event, they need to create a multiple items in their databases. So that is we have a challenge how we shortcome the data in such a fashions. So we have a concept called the one item have a multiple UM, and one UM has a multiple EN codes, and each UM has a multiple MRPs. In this fashion, we have a less number of records in their databases. While scanning, they have a edge. And also in that we have technology edge at the fast checkout. There is a peripheral devices integrations. They have a fast way to send the print on the printers and also send the e-receipt to the end customers. and we have a efficient way to apply the promotion at the time of the checkouts. So these are methods that come together and like make sure that the fast checkouts with the best customer experiences. And second block is these promotions. In promotion, marketing team has a challenge to how they drive the best promotions. So we have a way to like identify what are the like non-movable items and what are the like sales is going and what are the sales trend. So they bring together all the information and design the promotions. And second challenge is there after designing the promotion, how they circulate the promotion to the end customers. So we have a mechanism to send the promotion to the end customers to bring and like whenever like end customers comes in the store, so they can see the promotion on the signage or like a shelf level, and we have a kiosk where the customers just see the all the promotions, what are promotions running in the stores. And also third component is the payments. In payment, there is a two sections. First, they collect the payment from the customers. So we have a different way to collect the payment. Also, very important is that to like configure the different payment methods and their service charges on that payments. And second is that whenever like they are ending the day, to cashier has the responsibility to collect all the payments and handing over the payment to the store managers. And also store manager has a way to like declare their complete cash sheet and handing over the cash sheet to the bank. So there the complete payment flow is there. And like fourth component is the CRM. So CRM, we have a different mechanism to enroll the customers. First one, the like self onboarding. There is a QR code on the like front of the like retail operation counter. The customer just scan the QR code and install the Engage app. On the Engage app, they can self onboarding their self. Second one is that cashier can quick onboarding to the customers. And there is a way to like get the customer feedback that is called NPS. And also we have like a KYC on that, and also this we have a personalized promotions on the basis of their buying pattern. We have a like mechanism, the marketing campaign to analyze the like buying pattern and send the promotion detail to the customers. And also if there is some anniversary or birthday, we have a birthday campaign and anniversary and send the coupons and voucher detail to the customers, and customer can redeem this coupon and vouchers on that our POS machines. And we have a coupon and vouchers. The different kind of coupon and voucher is there, digital coupons and they like paper coupons. And that coupon has a property to like redeem this coupon on a single time or a multiple times by the customers. And that coupon has a like item wise coupon or invoice wise coupon, and we can like configure everything from the backend. We have a rule engine I'll cover in the next slide. And loyalty program has a capability to design the loyalty program on the different tier level as well as like a day wise and different program associated with the different customers. And also we have a like provision to like a promotional loyalty programs on this certain purchase of the time amount customer will get the loyalty program, and each loyalty point has a certain values. That value we can redeem at the POS counter. So these are the 6 dimensions. Here the Engage CRM. In Engage CRM, we have a like a cashback mechanism, and we have a like a provision to configure the cashback methods. That cashback can be the like cumulative purchase or like upfront purchase. On the basis of that rule engine, the customer will get the cashback. That cashback having a expiry, and within expiry period, customer can like redeem that cashback. And also time to time system will send the notification on his app and by the SMS. These many points going to expire on that day. You can redeem this point. And also time to time system will provide the bonus cashbacks. Membership enrollment is there. There is a different way to the like membership enrollment. Cashier can enroll the member at the POS counters. Again, we have a marketing campaign to send the like personalized promotion to the customer, analyze the pattern or the details. We have a closed wallets. Whatever like balance to pay amount is there or the refund amount there, we put in the closed wallet. These components like increase the repeat buying of the customers, because customer comes at the store to use their like amounts or points. We have again discount coupons. I've already explained. We have a loyalty promotions. We have a loyalty programs. We have a gift vouchers. We have a different kind of gift voucher, paper gift voucher, as well as digital gift vouchers. We have mechanism to sell the gift voucher, and there is a facility to redeem the gift voucher at the POS counters. StarQuick supports the multi-payment methods. These are like different payment gateways, digital payments, card payments. These are our partners. We are already associated with that, and we are doing the payment by that. They are the ready integrated payment gateways. We have a very robust promotions engines. In this promotion engine, like retailers marketing team can design the promotions on the different dimensions. So we have like 5 to 6 different dimensions. The first one is like how they are going to like configure the product. Is a promotion, is a product wise promotion, or a category wise promotion, or invoice wise promotion, or a hybrid promotion. Hybrid promotion means product plus category, or a product plus invoices. And like we have a mechanism to configure the complete promotion engine by the customer category or the customer threshold. Customer threshold in this, like customer can like avail this promotion only once time. Again, this is a configurable either once time or a like multiple time as per the customer can avail these promotions. In this promotion engine, we have a provision to like configure the promotion by the store and group of the stores. Also, we have a provision to configure the complete promotion by the date, time, and days on the different day, date, like certain from date and to date. Within date, this promotion will applicable on the stores. Or a time, time means you can avail this promotion only in a happy hours, 8 to 10 in the evening, or a day. This promotion can applicable only on a Monday on a weekdays. Whatever you want to configure, you can configure the complete. And also we have a like provision to configure the promotion on the basis of the price conditions. Price condition have a different operators like equal to, greater than equal to, and also we have provision to the quantity based promotion or amount based promotion, flat discount, and deal on deal. Deal on deal means promotion on promotion, like we can see the promotion as 50 plus 20 plus 10, like these promotions. These are the very robust like promotion engine. We can design and apply the promotion. And last one, we have like different seamless integration mechanism. Here 6DX have a capability to like attach with the different payment gateways, different e-commerce, and different business intelligence tool, BI tools, and we have provision to like integrate with the ready ERPs.
Thank you so much. I think with this product presentation, you explained quite eloquently some of the important features that the product has and as to how it is helping the retail customer. And especially, I would like to highlight what Mr. Gupta mentioned, that the simplicity is one of the fundamental things, both for the back end, also for the front end. And also you mentioned about the trust factor, which is security. That security has to be integrated. And also your SOPs should be as clear as possible, as easy as possible. And one of the very important thing that you mentioned, which is I'm sharing based on my personal experience on when you are actually going for a checkout, while selecting a lot of item in a store, you really want to get out of the store as soon as possible. And even the person who is heading the store, they cannot ask more than my mobile number. If they ask more details, which everybody would like to have, is then that create some level of friction, and that is main reason why actually they avoid it. So what I feel personally, maybe for the first time onboarding, you could have the mobile details, and thereafter you can offer some loyalty things, and there actually you ask them to fill the details. As many data as possible, you should have it. So I'll just share about our experience as a media house. Initially, we were not actually, especially the portal that I'm looking into it, we were not really interested who is coming to the portal. We were just looking into the number that 40 lakhs people came in a month. Then suddenly what we started doing, we started asking people to don't pay, but at least provide us your detail, why you are coming to us. And then now we are able to actually tabulate, have better understanding, and then based on that, we have created a framework called loyal readers. A person who is coming to our portal 12 times in a month is a loyal reader. And we are happy with even 5,000 people coming to our, maybe 5,000 number is a good number if they are coming to our portal 12 times in a month. So I think that is the thing that retail will also be focusing, already doing it. So thank you so much for sharing your insight. And with this, we come to the conclusion of this conference. Thank you so much, each one of you, for taking out time, and especially all the wonderful speaker who spoke about as to how the technology has become important, why customer experience is going to be the differentiator, has always been a differentiator for a sustainable growth, and why you need to decouple some of your technology architecture, and possibly cloud gives you a lot of flexibility, so you should experiment with it. So thank you so much once again for being such a wonderful audience and speaker. Thank you. Thank you.